You're listening to the Master Passive Income Podcast Network. Welcome to the Master Passive Income Show. My name is Dustin Heiner, and I'm here to help you create millions of dollars in wealth, get financial independence, and never work for anybody again by investing in real estate. And in today's show, I'm super pumped to share with you how you can turn one property into $10 million. All right, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Master Passive Income Podcast, where we talk about investing in real estate with a special focus on making enough money so you can quit your job and live the dream life. And now, here is your host, Dustin Heiner.
What's up? What's up? Super blessed, as always, to have you here with me on the show. So excited because I want you to become an income builder. Most people, when they invest in real estate, and honestly, most people that teach this stuff, they teach you how to be a landlord. I don't want to teach you how to be a landlord. I want you to become an income builder. So we're going to be building a business. We've talked about this like over and over again. In fact, that's probably how you found me and Master Passive Income, is because I always talk about building a business, making sure you're making money every single month, just like if you were to have a candy bar business. So if you had a candy bar business where you were buying and selling candy bars all the time, and you knew all day, every day, you can sell a candy bar for $1 and you can buy it for 50 cents. Well, you would buy as many candy bars as you could and make 50 cents. So $1 minus how much it cost was 50 cents. That profit is 50 cents on top of that. Now, what you would not do is buy it for $1 if you could sell it for $1 and hope in 6 months or a year you could sell it for $1.25. You would never run that business. That business would actually eat you alive. But what you would do is you would buy the candy bar. Now, the great thing about real estate, well, you buy the candy bar at 50 cents and sell it for $1. You're an income builder. Now, on top of that, what's great about real estate investing, same thing with like a candy bar business. Candy bar is our inventory and real estate is our inventory. Now, the great thing about our inventory is, let's say we didn't even have that 50 cents to borrow, or sorry, we didn't have 50 cents to buy a candy bar to sell it for $1, but what if you could borrow 50 cents? But you might be thinking, well, Dustin, how much is it going to cost me? It might cost you 25 cents to borrow 50 cents. Well, you're out of pocket 75 cents. Then you sell it for $1. You make money every single time you buy and sell a candy bar, 25 cents. You're going to think, how many candy bars can I buy? How much money can I borrow in order to buy more and more candy bars? You'd be making 25 cents every single time. And that's what we do, is we are not landlords. We are income builders. Now, what I want you to do is plan on buying properties, and we want to make $1,000 a month. That's what we want to do. We want to make $1,000 a month from every property. And let me explain it a little bit more. You might be thinking, well, Dustin, long term, that's going to be really tough to get $1,000 long term. I totally get it, but it's possible. At the same time, let's say you had a portfolio of 10 properties. Some are long term, some are short term, some are midterm, some are co-living. And so I'm going to dive further into it to walk you through how to actually do this. But that's something that we're going to be doing, is looking at all types of ways that tenants would want to live in our property. Short term, well, I'm getting way ahead of myself, but I want you, if you got 10 properties, on average, I want all those 10 properties to be making you $1,000 a month. Some might be making you $500 a month. Some might be making you $2,000 a month. So on average, we want $1,000 per property. Now, the investor trap, the dreaded 2 a.m. phone call, that happens all the time. You buy a property, you think you're an investor, then the toilet clogs because you're doing it all yourself. Well, you're not an investor. You're an expensive plumber and you have a job and you happen to own the property. So instead, we build a business and get experts to do all the work for us. And instead of waking up at 2 a.m, well, Tuesday morning, let's say you are building a business and you have liberation, like you financially independent, you don't have to work for somebody else. Well, you don't wake up to an alarm clock, which is amazing. You get coffee, you check your phone for deals, you negotiate everything. You have notifications from your property managers on how everything's are going. You get people sending you deals. So what cash flow does is it buys your freedom. And that's what I want for you. Tuesday morning, waking up, hanging out with the family, drinking coffee, looking at your properties and counting all the money that you have. Now, that's the identity shift. We're going from a landlord to a business owner, an income builder. A landlord has a second job. They trade their time for rent checks. They're fixing toilets. They're always asking, how do I do this? We don't want to ask how. We want to ask, who can do this. We hire the experts. We collect automated cash flow rent coming in every single month. We build a self-sustaining system as a business owner. Now, most investments grow in one direction. And you probably have thought, obviously, we cash flow, that's what we want. But I want to show you even more how the income builder strategy works. Now, let's say you buy one property that's $150,000 purchase price. Over 30 years, this is what it's going to come out to, and it's going to blow your mind. And I'm going to prove it to you that this is going to be absolutely amazing. In 30 years, it's going to be $1 million. Now, let's just say you have a down payment of 10%. That's $15,000 initial capital. It doesn't have to be your money. It could be somebody else's money. We have creative funding strategies for all this. I know 20 different ways to get financing for our properties. Now, one dimension versus six dimensions of wealth. So if you buy a stock, you hope it grows up. You can't use any leverage, which means you can't get a loan. Nobody's going to give you a loan to buy stock. Debt servicing, which means you can't get any loans. You can't have anybody else pay that loan for you. You're not making any money. And then tax liability, you have a high capital gains. But real estate, you make money in six different ways, which I'm going to walk you through in just a second. Leverage, you borrow other people's money. You use other people's money, just like that candy bar analogy, that makes you money. And then you also, all the debt that you have to pay, the mortgage payment, debt servicing is what it means, your mortgage payment. Well, that's paid for by your tenant. Tax liability, I pay almost no money in taxes. It is amazing. Let me walk you through what it looks like. Now, the first way, and this is probably the best way, in my opinion, because you get cash flow, which makes you have the ability to quit your job because you have financial independence. But if you buy one property that makes $1,000 a month over 12 months, 30 years, that's $360,000. Let me just say that one more time. Over 30 years at $1,000 a month, that's $360,000. And that's the minimum because rents go up over time. Imagine how much rent's going to be in 30 years. 30 years from now, it's probably going to be double this. So this is the best base case of it. $1,000 a month. That's $360,000 over 30 years. Now, here's one of my properties. It's a short-term rental. And this short-term rental, the monthly income is $2,500 a month. $2,500 a month. It's not, $200, $300, $400. It's $2,500 a month. With my other properties, it brings up the total dollar amount in cash flow every single month. Let's say I have a long-term property, it's making $800 a month. Well, you balance the two out, 800 plus 2,500. What did that come out to? 3,300 and minus the two, we're at $1,650, almost $1,400 for the two properties, if that makes sense. But the math pencils where you're now looking at, we have a short-term property and this, let me go back really quick. So the cash flow, you don't have to worry about having low priced, or let's say low long-term properties that are only making $100 a month. No, we have other ways to make income with our short-term rental, our monthly income. Now, way number two that you make money when you invest in real estate, equity capture. When you buy the home, we try as investors, let's say try, we do. We never buy a home unless we capture equity, and we're not homeowners. They fall in love with properties. We don't do that. We're homeowners. So what we do is we buy and we buy it for less than it's worth. Let's say it's worth $150,000. We try to find it for or buy it for $130,000 or less, which means we captured $20,000 in equity right there. Here's a property that I bought in Texas. So equity captured was $100,000. Basically, it's worth $250,000 when I bought it. It's now worth, I think, I don't know, 450 or something like that, 500. And so I bought it at $150,000. It was actual market value, $250,000. I bought it off market and nobody was buying it. And so I captured $100,000 when I bought this property. It was absolutely insane and amazing. Way number three, forced appreciation. When we buy the property, we fix it up. And you've seen those HGTV shows where people put money into the property, fixing it up and make it worth more than what they put in. So let's say you buy a property and then you put in money to fix it up. Let's say you put $15,000 total into the property. Well, that's now your out of pocket is $145,000. You paint it and put flooring in there and all that sort of stuff. You can make it look nice. But now $130,000 plus $15,000 to renovate it. That's $145,000. But let's say the value now is 175, which happens all the time. So you've actually pocketed $30,000 in value because you force that appreciation up. You make money when you fix up the property, and you do it over and over again. Here's one that I did is in California. So repair cost was $35,000. The value increased $115,000. So I forced the appreciation up $80,000. Now, isn't that amazing? And that was just the forced appreciation, let alone market appreciation. Absolutely fantastic. Weight number four, market appreciation. Get this, I got to say this. I might even say it twice. Every 15 years, real estate doubles in value. Let me say that one more time. Every 15 years, real estate doubles in value. So year one, $150,000 home. In 15 years, it's worth $300,000. Then 15 years later, 300,000 turns into $600,000. So you buy it at $150,000. And remember, your tenants are paying your mortgage, which is another way we'll get to in just a second. Your tenants are paying your mortgage. So that's not even your money coming out of your pocket. But over time, $150,000 turns into $600,000, which is a difference of $450,000 in 30 years. Isn't that insane? It's amazing. Now, here's a property that I bought. Its purchase price was $135,000. The current market value is $375, maybe even $400 now. That's market appreciation of $240,000. Can you? Isn't that insane? And so these numbers are. I only owned this for 8 years, and it's gone up this much. And so this number is not undoable. Like, this is the minimum, and so it could be so much more. Now, way number five, the mortgage buy down. This is fantastic. Let's say you put in $15,000 of your own money into a $150,000 home. Well, the rest of the balance of the principal, $135,000, your tenants pay for that, and all of the interest they've paid for, and taxes and repairs and all that sort of stuff. Your tenants have paid that off. So let's say even if it was your own $15,000, then you have actually had somebody else pay the balance of $135,000. Yeah, that's amazing. So that is money in your pocket. That's just the total that you owe in principal. Let alone the interest is another $150,000. Usually interest double. You double whatever your current price is that you bought the property for, and your interest on your mortgage is usually double that. So you're basically getting $300,000 and your tenant's paying for it. Here is another property I bought. This is an apartment complex. Bought it for $32 million. It's an amazing apartment complex. We absolutely love it. Now, here's the amazing thing on top of this as well. Do you think I'm paying the interest on $32 million or paying the principal for $32 million? No, all of my tenants are. This is, I think, has 450 units. Long story short, we combined a couple properties together. The total purchase price would have been $45 million. And we now have a 450 unit apartment complex, $45 million. And our tenants are paying all the interest and principal and all the expenses. Now, way number six, we are protected from the IRS. We have zero to no tax liability. Basically, we pay almost no money in taxes. Guess who writes the tax code that we all have to follow along? It's rich people, and rich people invest in real estate, so they make the tax code for real estate investors. It's absolutely insane how this is just absolutely amazing. That's another way. You don't pay any money in taxes. Now, here's the math. $15,000 initial capital. Again, it could be somebody else's money. It could be your money, but $15,000 initial capital. Over 30 years, you have the mortgage buy down of $135,000, plus they're paying the interest and all that sort of stuff. Market appreciation, $450,000. Forced appreciation, $15,000. Equity capture, $20,000. You have cash flow of $360,000. That's at the minimum. That's in 30 years, cash flow is going to go up because rents go up. You have $980,000 with one property in 30 years, let alone if you did that many, many times. So is this sounding amazing and absolutely insane how you buy one house, turns in 30 years to $1 million. And most of that is cash in your pocket, $360,000. Now, how do you turn 10 properties into $10 million in your spare time? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is what we do. We do this 10 times, and I've done this 30 plus times now, plus apartment complexes and everything. Well, here's the math. One property the cash flow is $360,000. I just went through this. So let me go into the 10 properties. 10 properties, 300, I said 300, 3 million, $3,600,000 that you're going to be making over 30 years. Equity capture, $200,000. Forced appreciation, $150,000. Market appreciation, $4.5 million. Mortgage buy down, $1.35 million. You have 10 properties. That turns into $10 million. Isn't that absolutely amazing? Let alone doing it over and over again. And you just give it to your kids in generational wealth. And I want you to remember that you need to stop being an investor and become an income builder. An investor just says, well, I'm just going to put in the stock market and just hope it goes up. We don't do that. We are an income builder. Now, remember, we're shooting for $1,000 a month per property. That's gross rents, revenue, everything, but that's balanced over a balanced portfolio of lots of properties. Now, remember, if you make $1,000 a month, one property, it's $12,000 a year. 1,000 times 12 months. Well, that's $12,000 a year. 5 properties at $1,000 a month, that's $60,000 a year. $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year. That's amazing. 10 properties is $120,000 a year. Your job's replaced. You have no boss, no performance reviews. You have true independence. But 20 properties, that's generational wealth. That's $240,000 a year. Isn't that absolutely insane? It's amazing. Now, we have the 4 lanes of real estate that you guys are going to be looking for. We're now growing into short-term, mid-term, and co-living. And the big reason why, and I want to pause for a quick second and share that honestly, I really want you to invest in real estate. Now, my new goal is to help 1 million people invest in real estate. So 2 things I would ask from you. Number 1, if you get anything out of this episode, please share it with somebody else. Just say, hey, check out Dustin and Master Passive Income. He really wants to help 1 million people to invest in real estate. That's number 1. Number 2, I want to get you to invest in real estate. Get my real estate investing course absolutely for free. Text the word rental, RENTAL, to 33777. Rental to 33777. I'll literally give you my course, show you how to find an area of the country to invest, how to build the business first. I always talk about that, and how to find the right properties, how to make sure you're getting experts to do the work for you, and scale the business to where you're making $250 or more in passive income. Scale it to quit your job. I'll literally get to you, or go to masterpassiveincome.com/free course. Obviously, it'll be in the description, but I really, really want you to invest in real estate, because the more that actual, normal, everyday people own real estate, the better everybody's life gets. When I first started investing in real estate, there weren't any property managers that were managing short-term properties and midterm and co-living. But now, since 2020, they have had so many property managers realize that they're losing money. They need to start actually managing short-term rentals, long-term rentals, and co-living as well. And so long-term, let me break it down how it looks like. So long-term property, I love long-term properties. Let me say that one more time. I love long-term properties. Guess why? It's boring cash flow that I do not have to do anything, and my property works for me. And there's I have people living in there in fact, one of my properties in Houston, 9 years now. Almost 10 years. They've been living in there for 10 years and they have not moved. They take care of the property. And now I'm making like $2,000 a month now, almost $2,000 a month in cash flow on that one long-term property. But you literally, it's amazing. So no effort, little to no effort, but you get other people, property manager, do the work. You have a little bit lower income at start. Obviously rents go up, but we trade off. And I personally like we trade off. Let me finish that thought. We trade off the lower income for no time out of our pocket or out of our life. And it's so easy, and our property does all the work. And it's boring income, which is amazing. I personally, now you're going to do whatever you want. Some people jump all long-term and they don't want any short-term, midterm. I completely get that. Some people like having more short-term or whatever. But I personally like having 80% of a stable portfolio of just cash flow coming in. 80% of the properties that I own are long-term stable cash flow. But also, we can jump into short-term rental. Short-term rental, you have income coming in, renting it out per day, and then you have higher income, but you have a lot more effort. And we can hire property managers, which is great, but there's a lot more moving parts. And have to stock the soap, and people want a hotel type experience when they're doing Airbnb now. And so you have to and there's a lot of wear and tear on your property because people are coming and going. You have to have cleaning all the time. So it's a lot more work. You can automate it, by getting other people, but it's a little bit more of a concern, not a little bit, a lot of bit more concern, but you make more money, which is great. So that's why I personally have, let's say maybe 10% of my portfolio of my properties as short term, which is great because I make more money. Midterm, midterm rental, you don't make as much money as short term. You make a little bit less, but oh my goodness, this is almost as good as long term because people are staying for 30, 60, and 90 days. They don't come and go very often. You don't have to clean it once every 30, 60, 90 days. You don't have somebody come and clean it. And there's a lot less effort, but you get a lot more income. You want to shoot for $1,500 a month from these properties and co-living as well. Co-living is absolutely fantastic. In fact, it's going to take off because unaffordable or homes are unaffordable. And the newer generation, younger generation, they're like, well, I guess we're just going to have to live, with other people. I personally would never want to do that, but other people are totally fine with that. So you have one house, 4 bedrooms, you have 4 income streams. There's a little less work because it's more of a long-term type of co-living as opposed to short-term, but you do have to take care of the property, getting people in and out. Instead of one tenant, one family, you have, let's say, 4 different tenants that you have 4 different leases. We just hire the right people to take care of that, but you should be getting about $2,000 a month. So that's something that you need to be keeping in mind, that we have the 4 lanes of us as real estate investors, and we don't just focus on long-term. We focus on being an investor. And what we want is to make $1,000 per month from every property over our balanced portfolio. Because I'll be completely honest, I've seen a lot of investors go bankrupt by just going after short-term properties because they don't know how to do it right. Now, you will know how to do it right, and that's what we're building in. We have the other courses. We have the creative financing course that you need to be going into. We have the short-term and midterm and co-living course that you need to absolutely be diving in. But the Ultimate Real Estate Investing System is this training is to give you the base foundational layer. Now, when we get into looking at short-term, a big thing I got to tell you is do not buy a property. Let me get to that short-term slide real quick. So the short-term slide, just like this property is my short-term property, do not buy a house that you cannot rent long-term and make a little bit of money. Because worst case scenario, if you can't short-term it, let's say there's laws or HOA comes in and they change the laws and you can't short-term it anymore and you need a long-term, you need to be able to make sure that you're taking care of where you're not losing money. So that's why we try to hit $1,000 every single month from all properties in our balanced portfolio. So what I want you to do is realize you need to not be a landlord. You need to become an income builder. And that is it for today. Go ahead and get my free real estate investing course. Text the word rental to 33777, RENTAL to 33777. You can also join my Real Estate Wealth Builders group coaching. Get all my courses. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next show. See ya.